Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. So here in the past few days, I've been hearing a lot of negativity surrounding the Colts because of the injury to Anthony Richardson and the fact that he's out for the rest of the season. And I am here to tell you, do not stay in that negative frame of mind. We have a season to play here. We have 12 games left, and we have to do whatever we can to win these games. We're not going to tank. We're not going to bring in the tank commander, Jeff Saturday, to take the reins on the rest of the season. The Colts are going to have a great chance to win this game against the Cleveland Browns this weekend. Boogie Fland will make his decision on where he's going to go, so we look forward to that tomorrow. He's going to pick a winner. See what I did there? But all that and more on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. But first, let's get right into Reynolds Wrap. Reynolds Wrap is tough and durable aluminum foil, easy to open in a stay-closed box, and been trusted for 75 years as a great American company. For 75 years, Reynolds Wrap has made a tough and durable product used for lining sheet pans, saves you time in the kitchen, saves you time on the cleanup. Reynolds Wrap, I use this stuff for everything, transferring stuff from the freezer to the grill to the fridge, wherever you need to get it, wherever you need to take it. Reynolds Wrap saves you time and gets you back to watching the big game this Sunday. Thank you to our sponsor, Reynolds Wrap, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get right back into talking about the Indianapolis Colts and what they're going to have to do this weekend. So, I've seen so much negativity, and the more I think about it, so the Browns have a backup quarterback playing. One of the keys to the game is going to be the Colts winning the turnover battle. That may seem like it's super easy to do, but how we can win the turnover battle is this way. They have a backup quarterback playing. We got to bring some extra pressure. We did it against we're playing Deshaun Watson this weekend. He might play in the game. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Are going to have to win the turnover battle and get some pressure on P.J. Walker. P.J. Walker right now is most likely starting this game. So, hey, Colts fans, we have a backup quarterback. They have a backup quarterback. What gives? Their backup quarterback could just do what our backup quarterback did last week. If we get some pressure on this guy, we get some strip sacks, some fumbles. That is going to be one of the big keys to this game. The other thing that the Colts, number 2, that they should do in this game is stick with running the ball. I don't care if the Colts run the ball 20 times in the first half for 30 yards. The Colts have to run the ball and stick with it somewhat so that any type of play action or anything is going to work. The Browns are going to play the Colts just like how the Jacksonville Jaguars did. They're going to bring 7, 8, maybe even 9 guys in the box playing they might play like a 4-6 type defense like Jacksonville did last week, what the Bears played back in the 80s. But this is the type of defense where they're practically bringing everybody, and they're just all in a real tight zone coverage on the back end. I mean, the Jaguars nobody was back deep for the Jaguars, and that's pretty much what we're going to see again this week. So the Colts are going to have to run the ball. Steichen can make adjustments. After seeing what happened last week to Gardner Minshew, will Steichen make some adjustments in this game? And will we see him with some different type of play calls that are going to have a better result than what we saw last week? I hope so. I think that is going to be the case. I think him and Minshew are really close, and I think they will come up with some ideas on what they're going to have to do to give him just a little bit more time in that pocket, because Minshew just had not a lot of time to throw. It was practically just like 1-2, and he had to get rid of it right away. The other key to this game, third key to the game, double Myles Garrett the entire game. I don't know. I mean, I know the Jaguars, Josh Allen is their best pass rusher, and he did get home on a strip sack. I would love to just see Mo Alley Cox or wherever, and Garrett moves up and down the line. I just listened to the Locked on Browns podcast, and when the Browns brought in a couple other pass rushers, Myles Garrett's just been moving up and down the line. Now, a couple of injuries we're going to talk about for the Colts. Braden Smith has not been practicing all week, and I don't think he's going to play in the game again this weekend. Freeland will be on the right edge. So these are the biggest keys. Like, Minshew is going to have to point out whether I would call out Myles Garrett's number wherever he moves to and make sure you have got a guy to chip on him or something on him, because if he grabs Gardner Minshew, he may throw him like a boomerang. So, and Myles Garrett is a big, strong man. He could really put the hurting on little Gardner Minshew in this game. We don't want to see that happen. We don't want to see all those strip sacks or anything like that. So, for God's sakes, Gardner Minshew, protect yourself out there and point out. I mean, Kyle Hamilton, when he's lined up on the edge, call out his number, 14, 14, 14. There he is. Like, somebody's going to have to block this guy so I don't get my head taken off in this game. So, a lot of ways that the Colts can get after it and win this game. I really want to try to stay positive on this episode. I mean, but it is going to be tough. So the Browns, how they're going to attack the Colts, they are going to try to run the ball. We all know that Grover Stewart is now out for 6 games for PED use. That's not going to help. Now, Ebukam, I think that's who's playing in his place is Ebukam, I believe, for the Colts. He came from the Browns, but he's more of a rotational defensive tackle, not like an every down player. Grover Stewart has been killing it on stopping the run. If you've been watching the line in the games, and I would suggest watch the line in the games. It will really tell you a lot about what is happening in the game. But I think most of us, we don't really watch the line, though. We watch the ball most of the time. But if you take a few plays and watch the defensive line, Buckner has been dealing with a groin injury kind of on and off for a few weeks. I think that's probably fully cleared up and by now, but it's going to be just a little bit more difficult with Grover Stewart out to stop their running game. But we do know this. Kareem Hunt has not practiced this week. He maybe is dealing with an injury. I have to look up what that injury is. But I've just read that he has not practiced this week. So we could be down to like a third string running back for the Browns because we know, Chubb got hurt earlier in the season against the Steelers. And so Hunt is in there now, but he's not been practicing for them. So they could really be, down in the running back department. That's going to help the Colts. But something's got to give here. Alec Pierce dealing with a shoulder injury. Not sure if he's going to play in the game. One of the other things I wanted to bring up is that Deshaun Watson in his press conference yesterday said that he kind of left the door open to that he could play in the game. So Deshaun Watson is not 100% ruled out. It was just about like 10 hours ago in his press conference yesterday. He said that's going to be up to the medical staff and everybody like that, whether or not he's going to play in the game. But after that press conference, Vegas always seems to know the inside scoop on some of these things, because after he said that it was up in the air and that maybe he was going to play in the game, the line went from -1.5 to -2.5. So now the Browns are even more of a 1 point more of a favorite in this game. So that kind of tells me, I mean, everybody always says Vegas always knows. So like that does kind of tell me, does somebody know something here in Vegas that other people don't know? If Deshaun Watson does play in this game, he's not played very well at all this season. Now, I don't want to jinx the Colts by saying that but the games I've watched him play, he played on like a Thursday night game just maybe about 4 or 5 weeks ago that I watched, and I was not at all impressed with what I was seeing out of him in that game. So it's at Lucas Oil Stadium. It's going to be a tough game for both of these teams. The Browns have the number one defense in all of football right now, and they're averaging only 11 points a game. So this could be like a 6-9, 11-8 type of game. I could definitely see it going in that direction, but this is going to be a tough one. That being said, I think Steichen's going to have the troops ready at home. I think the Colts are going to pull this game out. I think they make some adjustments. That's what I've heard all the people in comments and everything talking about, how the Browns are going to, look at the film of what Jacksonville did to the Colts, and they're just going to do that times like 100 to the Colts. Just remember, we can make adjustments too. Shane Steichen is going to make some adjustments on the offense. He's not going to let Gardner Minshew go out there and turn the ball over 4 times and get, the absolute crap beat out of him. I think Shane Steichen's going to come out and have maybe a better plan this week. He is going to have a better plan this week. So let's be looking forward to that. Let's not be so negative about the Colts. And I'm trying to stay positive myself. I have to tell myself that every day. Look, and I will say this. Shane Steichen in his press conference yesterday said that Anthony Richardson is going to benefit greatly by sitting on the sidelines through the rest of this season until next year. He will be ready for the spring workouts and everything is what they're saying. So, hey, you know what? Time flies by, people. I'm just a guy who loves the Colts. It's just unbelievable how fast time does go by. And next thing you know, it will be August, September of next year, and we'll be watching Anthony Richardson suit up again. So don't be all down about that he's out for the rest of the year, because he is going to be learning. And I did talk to Dan Patrick yesterday. Yes, the great Dan Patrick, 2 days ago. And he did say, and this might not have been a bad idea. I know I was a person that was chomping at the bit to get Anthony Richardson out there on the field so that we could see how he looked out there. And I really wanted to see him. But Dan Patrick said they should have sat him like the first 6 weeks. That might have been good advice. I know I'm not. This is why I'm a fan. Maybe that would have been a better spot for Anthony Richardson. It's always easy to play, the historian, whatever they call it, that like, oh God, but it's always easy to, hindsight is 2020. It's always easy to look at stuff like that from another perspective. Now that we know that he just had a difficult time protecting himself on the field, what I would suggest to Anthony Richardson is maybe do what Tua did, get some training, maybe do some karate training, some jiu-jitsu training, maybe some ballet, maybe something that teaches you more body control so that you can learn to fall the right way and keep your body healthy and stay out on the field. I do think that he will come to his senses and he will, take this seriously and know that that's what he's going to have to do to play in the NFL going forward. But so Boogie Fland makes his decision for the Hoosiers tomorrow. We will talk about that a little bit tomorrow too and see if I'll make a reaction video and put it on the Hoosiers site and everything like that. So thank you so much for watching this video. We have a lot to look forward to. 12 games left for the Colts, so don't give up on them just yet. And until next time, stay classy out there, Colts fans.